So here we are in Lightroom. I am in the Develop tab, and I have 4 images that I've already worked on a little bit. Did kind of all of my editing except for the places that I went to try out this new generative AI feature. So in order to get to it, we want to go up here to the remove, or you could press Q on your keyboard, which is the hotkey, and it should pull up this generative AI. It is an early access feature, so if you don't see it there, you may have to upgrade or update your Lightroom in order to get it. But if you have the latest and you're opt into that early access, you should have this feature. So you want to make sure that it's checked, and you can hit the info key to get more information there. You want to make sure it's checked. You can check also content or object aware if you want, or you can just draw the object around the object that you're trying to get rid of. So in this case, we have this nice fox in a little backyard here. And we've got this little patch of brown back here that I think kind of distracts the viewer a little from the fox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of paint in that area on where I want it to use this technique. And once I have that done, you'll see that it shows you the mask. The red is where you have it selected. And you can refine your mask here by sizing up your brush, sizing it down. You can add, you can subtract. You could even change the color of your mask if red doesn't work for you. I believe red is the default. But maybe you're working on a red image and you can't really tell where you're painting. So you would want to change that to maybe a blue or something that would stand out to your eye. Once you're happy with the selection, you would go ahead and hit apply, and it will generate the removal options. And once we have that done, it's going to give you 3 different variations. And again, remember we're looking at this area over here. So this is option 1 and 2 and 3. I don't really like any of those particularly, so I can hit refresh and it will generate 3 new options for us. With this being a newer tool, with this being AI, it might not get it right on the first time, but it should, after a few times, understand what you're trying to do or give you a good option. So in this case, I'm not really seeing what I want. Let's try a refresh again. And of course, when I did this before, it gave me the result that I was looking for right away. Now that I'm trying to film this video, it's not really cooperating. There we go. So I think maybe 1 or 3 looks good, and maybe I think I like 3 the best. So that's one example, right? And as soon as you are done, all you got to do is just like any of these sections up here, when you hit it again, you'll go back to the original menu panel. So that's one example. The next, a little bit more, right? We've got the fox. I'm backed off a little bit more. You've got this power control unit or something of that nature, and these rocks in kind of a little gray fence or something back there too. So again, I'm going to go into the generative AI and expand my brush a little bit on the size to paint away. I'm going to first look at this power grid here. And we're going to want to, there we go, get it all done. And we'll hit apply. And let that do its magic. and let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so there's option 1, there's 2, there's 3. I think I like option 2 best. I think it just fits in nicely with the grass that's already back there. So, and I'm not worried about this top because we're going to go ahead and kind of get rid of that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one on this top section. And here we go. So that top section is now good. We're going to hit apply. And once that generates, hopefully, it'll give us a nice luscious green grass back there. And there we go. Look at that. Now it just looks like this fox is sitting in a field of some sort, instead of somebody's backyard. And I think I like the first one here. And you can continue to touch this up. Obviously, just like the spot removal before in Lightroom, you get these sections on where you have applied spot removal. So if you didn't like one, you could just click on it and hit delete and it would be gone, right? But we're going to keep those in, and we could even resize this one. Maybe now that we see the fox, maybe we want it more centered, and that looks better, right? To me, that's a pretty solid picture. And now we don't have any of those ugly distractions in the background. So moving on, and here's another example of some some geese, in a local park here. And, maybe you find that this reflection here of one of the houses that was in the neighborhood to be a little distracting. You would, paint in with the generative AI, and let's say that is what you want to work on. Hit apply. Let Lightroom do its magic here. And let's see if it did a good job. That's a little better. I think 3 kind of works. Maybe we hit refresh and see if we can get some better options here. And now what Lightroom's trying to do is match kind of what is around it and what is already in the image. So I think, see, again, I don't really like any of those too much. So you might have to do this a couple times to get something that you really like. And in my opinion, that is fine. Maybe we want to get rid of this here. And you can really fine tune this selection a little more. You can go in a little deeper and really just try to play with that as much as possible. And there you go. So, we started with that bright spot, that bright distraction. We add the generative AI, and that's kind of what we're left with. So, again, go ahead, play with it a little bit, see what you might like with it. And here's my last example. So in this picture, right, I noticed this this village or cabin over off the side. I didn't really like that, but I do think that it's a nice picture. It maybe not be portfolio worthy, but it captured what I saw on that day in this area. So with generative AI, taking out this little cabin and removing those distractions of the barrels and things like that, in this section, I don't think really takes away from the photo. Or I think the cabin and the distractions obviously take away from the photo, but I don't think it's a huge deal to remove something like that when it's on the edge. So there's 1, 2, I think 3 did a pretty good job there. So, I like that. And if you really wanted to, you could go in here and there's a few more houses, if you really, really wanted to remove all the houses, you can do that. I wonder, I didn't try this before, so this is going to be interesting on what generative AI will do. So we've got two kind of sections there. Let's see how it does. And almost. There we go. So there's 1, 2, 3. And for some reason, it's only changing this one here. Oh. Okay, interesting. So it acts as if it's 2 separate spots. So you could delete one or the other, or refresh one or the other. You don't have to keep both. But I think that did a pretty good job. So again, generative AI. It's a neat tool. It'll help you get rid of some of those big distractions that Lightroom wasn't really good at in the past. I would have went into Photoshop to remove some of these distractions previously. Now, I might see what this does first, and then if I don't like the result, I'll bring it into Photoshop to really fine tune it and get a better result. But yeah. So that about does it. That is the new generative AI feature in Lightroom. Let me know if you guys utilize this, if you like this sort of push for AI that's going on, if you find it to be disruptive or not helpful. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments below. And if you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.